see them both light up?
So shut down. Side boosters.
The year was 1995. A young man sits alone in a small apartment, sleeping on a futon, and showering at the YMCA. With just $2,000 in his pocket, he codes through the night, surviving on hot dogs and oranges from a nearby convenience store. 25 years later, that same man would become the richest person on planet Earth, running multiple billion-dollar companies simultaneously, launching revolutionary rockets into space, and transforming the entire automotive industry. What separates those who dream big from those who actually build empires? In the next 10 minutes, I'll reveal the 5 critical decisions Elon Musk made that 99% of people wouldn't. Choices that transformed a struggling immigrant with no connections into the world's most revolutionary entrepreneur. And pay close attention to number 3. It's the exact opposite of what most success gurus teach, but it's the real reason Musk succeeded where thousands before him failed. This is StoVibe. Let's begin. To understand Elon Musk, you need to understand where he came from. Born in Pretoria, South Africa in 1971, Musk's childhood was far from easy. Severely bullied at school, once beaten so badly he was hospitalized, young Elon found refuge in books and computers. "I was raised by books. Books and then my parents," he once said. His parents divorced when he was 9, and he chose to live primarily with his father, a decision he would later describe as a painful mistake. By his own account, his father was psychologically cruel, and those early years shaped Musk's approach to adversity. What's extraordinary isn't that Musk faced difficulty, it's how he responded to it. While most children in his situation would have become withdrawn or rebellious, Musk became strategic. He taught himself computer programming at age 10 on a Commodore VIC-20, and by age 12, he had created and sold his first commercial software, a space game called Blaster, for approximately $500. This pattern, turning pain into productivity, would define his entire career. At 17, Musk left South Africa for Canada, partly to avoid mandatory military service, but primarily to pursue greater economic opportunities. Arriving with almost no money or connections, he worked odd jobs, cleaning boilers, cutting logs, and even cleaning the lumber mill floor for $18 per hour. I remember thinking, okay, I could either watch the logs go through the saw, or I could work at the saw. And what they paid at the saw was $18 an hour. That was like, wow, I can afford a proper computer with that, he recalled. Notice the pattern. While most people in low-wage jobs focus on immediate comfort, Musk was already calculating how each dollar could build toward his larger vision. After transferring to the University of Pennsylvania, Musk earned degrees in physics and economics, an unusual combination that reflected his understanding that transforming the world requires both scientific knowledge and business acumen. His college years revealed another Musk trait: extreme frugality coupled with intense work ethic. While fellow students partied, Musk converted his house into a nightclub on weekends to pay rent, studying intensely on weekdays. In 1995, Musk was accepted into a Stanford PhD program, but dropped out after just 2 days. Why? The internet boom was beginning, and Musk recognized something most missed: a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to build digital infrastructure. This brings us to critical decision number 1. Musk consistently sacrifices certainty for asymmetric opportunity. Most people seek security, a stable job, predictable income, clear career path. Musk does the opposite, repeatedly abandoning certainty the moment he identifies an opportunity with massive upside potential. Leaving Stanford wasn't reckless, it was strategic. Musk calculated that the worst-case scenario, failure and returning to school, was manageable, while the best-case scenario, building fundamental internet companies, was potentially world-changing. With his brother Kimball, he founded Zip2, a company providing online city guide software to newspapers. Their beginnings were humble. They couldn't afford an apartment, so they slept on office futons and showered at the YMCA. To save money, Musk worked around the clock, coding overnight and selling during the day. When my brother and I were starting our first company, we literally lived in the office and slept on the couch. We showered at the YMCA, and we were so poor, we had just one computer, so the website was up during the day, and I was coding at night. Few realize how close Musk came to failure during these years. Investors tried multiple times to replace him as CEO, believing his vision was too ambitious. But Musk fought back, working harder while systematically expanding his knowledge and skills. In 1999, Compaq Computer acquired Zip2 for $307 million. Musk's share was $22 million. For most 27-year-olds, this would be the end of the story. Retire young, live comfortably. But for Musk, it was merely the opening chapter. This brings us to critical decision number 2. Musk compounds success rather than consuming it. Instead of buying luxury items or taking time off, Musk immediately rolled his earnings into his next venture, X.com, an online financial services and payment company. This was 1999, when most people still feared using credit cards online. Musk's vision, that all financial services would eventually move online, seemed absurd to banking executives. X.com eventually merged with Confinity, which had a money transfer service called PayPal. The merged company focused on PayPal service, and internal power struggles led to Musk being ousted as CEO while on vacation. Despite this setback, Musk remained the company's largest shareholder. When eBay purchased PayPal in 2002 for $1.5 billion, Musk netted approximately $180 million. Now 31 years old, with nearly $200 million in the bank, Musk stood at a crossroads faced by few in human history. He could have lived luxuriously for multiple lifetimes without working another day. Instead, he made perhaps the most remarkable decision of his career, one that reveals the true secret of empire building. Critical decision number 3. Musk invests in mission over money. While most successful entrepreneurs cash out and diversify into safe investments, Musk did something that seemed insane at the time. He put almost his entire fortune into his next 2 companies, SpaceX and Tesla. These weren't just businesses to him. They were missions aligned with solving what he identified as humanity's most crucial challenges, establishing multiplanetary life, SpaceX, and transitioning to sustainable energy, Tesla. When I was in college, I tried to think what would most affect the future of humanity. The 3 things I came up with were the internet, making life multiplanetary, and sustainable energy. Founding SpaceX in 2002 was considered suicidal by industry experts. The space industry was dominated by government agencies and massive defense contractors. No private company had successfully built an orbital rocket. Yet Musk approached rocketry not as an aerospace problem, but as a first principles physics and engineering challenge. Rather than accepting the conventional wisdom that rockets must be expensive, he broke down the raw material costs and fundamentally redesigned the manufacturing process. Musk taught himself rocket science by reading textbooks and questioning experts. His early team consisted of just a handful of engineers. Rather than outsourcing components like established aerospace companies, SpaceX built rockets from scratch to drive down costs. The first 3 SpaceX launch attempts failed spectacularly. By 2008, both SpaceX and Tesla were running out of money during the global financial crisis. Musk had invested nearly all his PayPal fortune and was borrowing money for rent. The worst point was probably 2008, when Tesla was hemorrhaging money, SpaceX had its 3rd launch failure, and the global economy collapsed. I wasn't even sure if Tesla would be able to raise the money for our next payroll. This period reveals critical decision number 4. Musk commits fully when others would quit. Facing bankruptcy at both companies simultaneously, Musk made a decision that defies conventional business wisdom. He doubled down, investing his last remaining capital and borrowing from friends. I could either keep the money, then the companies would definitely die, or invest the money and possibly have the companies live. If they live, then my money will be worth a lot more than if they die. In what he calls the darkest period of his life, Musk worked 100-hour weeks, splitting time between Los Angeles and Silicon Valley. On December 23, 2008, both companies were saved at the last possible moment. SpaceX secured a $1.6 billion NASA contract, and Tesla closed a critical funding round on Christmas Eve, hours before bankruptcy. Tesla's journey was equally improbable. Musk initially invested in Tesla as its primary funding source, but wasn't the founder. As the company struggled with production delays and technical challenges, he became increasingly involved, eventually taking over as CEO. What most people don't realize is that building Tesla required reinventing the entire automotive manufacturing process. No new American car company had succeeded at scale in over 80 years. Industry veterans insisted it was impossible. Tesla's first vehicle, the Roadster, was plagued with production problems and cost overruns. The Model S faced similar challenges, but rather than compromising on quality or vision, Musk repeatedly risked everything, maintaining an almost fanatical focus on building exceptional products. The way I approach things is, if I'm convinced that something is important to the future, then even if the probability of success is low, I'll still pursue it. This philosophy led to critical decision number 5. Musk integrates vertically when conventional wisdom says to specialize. While most businesses focus on core competencies and outsource the rest, Musk repeatedly brings critical functions in-house. Tesla doesn't just design cars, it builds batteries, manufactures solar panels, creates charging networks, and even mines raw materials. SpaceX doesn't just assemble rockets, it builds engines, body panels, software systems, even the spacesuits worn by astronauts. This approach requires more capital and creates more points of failure, but enables breakthroughs impossible through conventional specialization. By 2012, both companies were showing promise, but neither was secure. Then came the critical breakthrough years, 2013 to 2020, when Musk's long-term vision began manifesting in reality. Tesla revolutionized electric vehicles with the Model S, winning Motor Trend's Car of the Year, and breaking Consumer Reports' rating system with the highest score ever given. SpaceX achieved what many thought impossible, landing and reusing orbital-class rockets, reducing launch costs by approximately 10 times. Yet even as both companies found success, Musk continued starting new ventures addressing humanity's fundamental challenges. Solar City, now part of Tesla, to transform energy production, Neuralink to develop brain-machine interfaces, and The Boring Company to revolutionize tunneling and transportation infrastructure. By 2021, Tesla had become one of the most valuable companies in the world, transforming the entire automotive industry. Legacy manufacturers who once mocked electric vehicles scrambled to catch up, announcing billions in EV investments. SpaceX dominated commercial launches, sending astronauts to the International Space Station and developing Starship, potentially the most powerful rocket ever built. Musk's net worth soared above $200 billion, making him temporarily the richest person in modern history. In late 2022, he acquired Twitter, now X, for $44 billion, believing the social media platform needed transformation to protect free speech principles. What's most remarkable about Musk's empire isn't just its financial value, but its transformative impact. He didn't just build successful companies. He accelerated humanity's transition to sustainable energy, revolutionized space access, and pushed the boundaries of numerous industries simultaneously. But Musk's journey hasn't been without controversy. Critics point to his aggressive management style, ambitious timelines that often slip, and provocative public statements. Former employees describe both inspiration and burnout working under his demanding expectations. The truth about Elon Musk is more nuanced than either his most fervent supporters or critics suggest. He's neither superhero nor villain, but rather an extraordinary entrepreneur with uncommon vision and determination, coupled with very human flaws. What can we learn from Musk's unprecedented empire building? 5 principles stand out. First, identify opportunities with asymmetric returns. Musk consistently pursues ventures where success, even if unlikely, would be transformative. He focuses not on incremental improvements, but on fundamental breakthroughs. Second, compound success instead of consuming it. Rather than enjoying wealth after each victory, Musk immediately leverages success to tackle even bigger challenges, creating a compounding effect rare in entrepreneurship. Third, align business with mission. Musk's companies aren't just profit-seeking ventures. They're vehicles for advancing causes he believes critical to humanity's future. This mission-driven approach attracts top talent and creates resilience during difficult periods. Fourth, maintain unwavering commitment when logic says quit. Musk's empire exists largely because he refused to abandon his companies during their darkest moments, even when conventional wisdom suggested cutting losses. Finally, question every assumption and first principle. Musk repeatedly succeeds where others fail by returning to fundamental physics and economics, asking why, until he identifies opportunities others miss. The story of Elon Musk's empire contains a profound truth often overlooked. Extraordinary success rarely comes from doing ordinary things slightly better. It comes from fundamentally reimagining what's possible, then committing with rare intensity to that vision. As Musk himself puts it, when something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. His approach isn't for everyone. Few would be willing to risk everything repeatedly, work 80, 100-hour weeks for decades, or face the constant public scrutiny his position entails. But for those seeking to build something truly transformative, Musk's journey offers invaluable insights. The ultimate lesson may be this: empire building isn't primarily about intelligence, though Musk certainly possesses that. It's about courage, the courage to challenge fundamental assumptions, pursue outsized opportunities, and persist when failure seems certain. If you get up in the morning and think the future is going to be better, it is a bright day. Otherwise, it's not. Musk's empire wasn't inherited or won through lucky speculation. It was built methodically through a series of critical decisions that prioritized long-term transformation over short-term comfort or conventional success. The world has no shortage of intelligent, educated people with good ideas. What's rare are individuals willing to commit everything to turning those ideas into reality, regardless of the personal cost. That's the true foundation of Musk's empire. Not genius alone, but genius coupled with extraordinary conviction and perseverance. As you reflect on your own ambitions, consider which of Musk's principles might apply to your journey. You don't need to revolutionize multiple industries simultaneously, but you can approach your challenges with similar first principles thinking. You don't need billions to start, but you can strategically reinvest early successes rather than consuming them. Most importantly, you can identify missions that matter deeply to you, then pursue them with uncommon determination, even when the path becomes difficult. Empire building, whether measured in dollars, impact, or personal fulfillment, always begins with a single, crucial decision: to build something larger than yourself. If you found value in this video, hit the subscribe button and join the StoVibe community. We bring you life-changing stories and lessons from the world's greatest achievers every week. Turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload. This is StoVibe, where motivation meets wisdom. Until next time, keep building your empire, one decision at a time.